Welcome back, kiddos. So, please like my videos, share my videos if you like it, and subscribe my videos so that you get the updated um, next video of mine. And so, it is very useful beginners course. So, please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Hello kiddos. So today we are going to learn about the JavaScript. We already have understood that there we require two IDEs for JavaScript. One is the Sublime Text and another is Visual Studio Code. So I have created an PowerPoint presentation which will tell you about the JavaScript thoroughly. It would be the beginner's course. We have already shared two videos in which we have learned how to download Sublime Text and Visual Studio Code, as well as we have just had started with one program of JavaScript, which was just as where to write the JavaScript program in HTML file as well as in different file, which would be given a reference in a HTML code. So now let's see what is the JavaScript in thoroughly. So this would be a beginner's course. So please try to understand, and as much as you can try the programs would be good practically, so that you can understand the JavaScript's uses and the which are the best features of JavaScript. Now let's see, this is the version 1.8.5. So this would be the second slide, where would be the background knowledge, the programming basics and the mathematical concepts, JavaScript language, programming and mathematical concepts, and then the JavaScript uses and the cheat sheet. To be frank, it won't be like the same in this way. It would be similar because the background knowledge would be what is the history of the JavaScript, where did it came from, and how it was evolved as a very good programming language now, what we can see. The programming basics and the mathematical concepts would be the different programming basics, like what is the syntax, how to write the JavaScript program, what are the variables, data types, and how to write the loops, as we all have in C, C++, or Java. Just how the methods should be written, and many more, and the operators, and many more. So you will get into it once we'll start with that. Next is the JavaScript programming and mathematical concept. So it would be like what actual, we know programming basics, but what actual is that programming basic used in JavaScript, and how, what is the syntax for that, like how the code structure would be, how the if loop would be in JavaScript. We already know, if you guys know some other programming language, you can understand that there is somewhat difference in the syntax or some the methods how to write it. So just get familiar to those things, the mathematical concept, how we can do the Fibonacci series in JavaScript, or how we can find the average of three numbers, and many more. Okay, the next would be the JavaScript uses, and the cheat sheet would be the all-in-one. All the is just, you can read it and you can understand the whole JavaScript in like a short pages, or just in a few minutes. That's it. Thank you. So when you come across this slide, this is like JavaScript. What is JavaScript? So if you guys know, the JavaScript is a lightweighted interpreted programming language. What is interpreted programming language? It is nothing but it just tells you do this and that is done. Designed for creating network-centric application. And one more thing, like in C, C++ or Java, we have to run the program or compile the program. So here there is no required of compilation. The browser, when you refresh the browser, the code runs automatically. Means if you have updated anything in the JavaScript program, that is already updated without compiling the program. Designed for creating network-centric application. Mostly you see JavaScript programs are done for the games, like interactive website applications. Network centric means where you have to use the network, like online games and many more like applications in which we require the more internet availability. Complementary to and integrated with Java, yes, and it is also complementary to and integrated with HTML. We can use with Java, HTML, and it is an open and cross platform. JavaScript is a scripting or programming language that allows you to implement complex features on web pages. As it tells you, it is very like there are many images on the web pages, but if you want to make it moving or like animation or make something to move or something to increase its shape or like which is very much interactive, we use JavaScript for that. As we know, this is the third layer of the standard web technology. The two of them is HTML and CSS. What is HTML? HTML is the markup language that we use to structure and give meaning to our web content. For example, defining paragraphs, headings, and data tables, or embedding images and videos in the pages. What is CSS? CSS stands for Cascaded Styling Sheet, is a language of style rules that we use to apply styling to our HTML content. Now see, if we have written the paragraph, what font would it would have? What would be, how much size the font should be? And there are many different types of fonts like Times New Roman or many more. Oh, if you want to have some color changes in the text, we use the CSS. So it is like we are decorating our page with the paragraphs or the data tables or the headings or embedding images. We have to just decorate it with the help of CSS, like background colors and fonts, and laying out our content in multiple columns. It makes you feel like, oh, now we have the whole home, but now how to decorate it? It helps with CSS. Now JavaScript is a scripting language that enables you to create dynamically updating content, control multimedia, animate images, and pretty much everything else. So now in HTML, we already have the home in full. Like we can imagine, like we have a home which is empty. Now CSS will decorate it, and JavaScript would actually move. Means if something is coming up, if somebody hits the doorbell, then someone will come up. It would be making home alive. So that would be like animating images, multimedia, and pretty much everything else. Now, what can JS do? Image switchers and the light boxes. This is one of the example. Full featured web applications. There are many web applications which have full features which are done by JavaScript itself. Keep track of users with cookies. This is also one of the important JavaScript uses are interactive elements like tabs, sliders, and accordions, drawing and animation. This itself tells you how the JavaScript plays an important role in web development. This helps you to understand and manage the websites, and you can work or you can do anything as per your requirements. So these are some JavaScript merits. The merits of using JavaScripts are less server interaction. As you have only the JavaScript program run, you did not have to go back to the server and bring that page and work on it. This itself does those things automatically before sending the page off to the server. This saves server traffic, which means less load on your server. Immediate feedback to the visitors. They don't have to wait for the page reload to see if they have forgotten to enter something. Increased interactive, like we have games like user hovers, activate them via the keyboard, and the animations like richer interfaces. You can use JavaScript to include such items as drag and drop components, sliders, to give a rich interface to your site visitors. So this will tell you like JavaScript is making all the things live on the web server website or in and without more interaction with server. What's the demerits? It lacks the following important features like client-side JavaScript does not allow the reading or writing of the files. Yes, this has been kept for security purpose. Because if anybody wants to read or anything write the files, if we have that feature, then anybody can update or change our website or have control over our website. So for the security purpose, this feature has been dropped. JavaScript cannot be used for networking application because it is not such support available, correct? And JavaScript does not have any multi-threaded or multiprocessor capabilities. This helps us to understand how JavaScript's demerits are maintained only for the security purpose. These are some of the editors for JavaScript, which is also called as IDEs as well. So we already have Visual Studio Code and the Sublime Text, Notepad++ and Atom. These are just a similar kind of cross-platform IDEs or the editors, and these are very much useful as well. In practice, lightweight editors may have a lot of plugins like directory level syntax, and just there is no strict border between a lightweight editor and an IDE. So it doesn't matter whether it's IDE or lightweight editor. It's just a requirement for your project. If your project is very much high level or very much structured, according to that we can choose which IDE or which editor we want. And this will help you to understand and manage the JavaScript programs and help to enhance the web technology which you have in your hands, so you can enhance the web server websites. Thank you. See you in the next one. Okay, so now this is something called as the JavaScript history. The first time the JavaScript was created by Netscape, by Brenman each, and then it was released as JScript as Microsoft releases as JScript, a port of IE3, and similarly it was switched as ECMAScript and then Ajax, jQuery. So this is some timeline, and now it's like ECMS script C was released. So this is how the different JavaScript history, or you can just go and check the JavaScript history on Google as well. This is just a small understanding like how the JavaScript history looks like, and it is very means it's not like it is developed and developed and developed, but it has taken some time from first 1995 to 2015, and now the which JavaScript we are using is 1.8.6, and this is very developed and very nice JavaScript series, or you can say updated released script, and it is very useful. So now like small uses of JavaScript, like adding an interactivity to website. Yeah, we know this. Just now we have got that idea. Developing mobile application, creating web browsers, best games, backend web development. So these are small uses of JavaScript. You can understand and you can make a one particular conclusion that instead HTML and CSS should have JavaScript with it, so that the website or the web browser based games, anything works so swiftly. So now comes the programming basics and the mathematical concepts. If you have any questions or anything problem, please let me know. So this would be the main structure of the programming basics. So when you come across this slide looks like everything is there in it. Like what are the data types, variables, strings, what is the code structure, what is the use of strict, and many more. These are the blocks. So in this we'll be learning all about the programming basics for that programming language. Our programming language is JavaScript. So please wait for the next video. This is what till now we have know about the JavaScript. Thank you for watching. Please wait for my next video. Thank you.